Hey everybody, welcome back to Mary Bird's Backyard Garden. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mary.
I cut it off short that time. I'm Jeff.
We were hippity-hoppity.
Chopped it up a little
You're
bit.
getting ready to be hippity-hoppity.
Is that...
a bunny?
I know, Easter coming.
Easter.
There you go, hippity-hoppity.
I haven't looked it up. Oh, my.
I don't know when it's coming.
I'm not sure.
I know.
We didn't miss it.
No, we didn't miss it. Hey, we've had some exciting stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
What have we?
Yes, we have. Well, before that, I just want to tell you, I enjoyed that intro music that our son created for us.
He did.
A big shout out. He did really well.
Big shout out to our son for the music. Mm-hmm. He's done a really good job.
He did.
He did that. We asked him if he'd put something together. Didn't give him any guidance, and he showed up with that, and it was really nice.
I like it.
Very good. Very talented young man.
Yeah.
If I may say so myself.
You may. I will let you.
Hey, before we get into the gardening, I have to tell everyone that we were on a little road trip this past weekend.
Nice. Yes.
We went up to the Dallas area. We were in Frisco, Texas, watching our granddaughter compete in gymnastics.
Yes. First time to that area.
Yeah. And we stayed it's a really nice area. But the one story I have to tell, you know Mary's a plant person. We're walking in the area. It's an area that like has the restaurants are right there. You walk to the restaurants, they have little stores. It's a very, very nice area in Frisco.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Star. And Mary looks at me and she goes, "Did you notice the lovely grass outside the outside the hotel?" And I was like, it's where the Dallas Cowboys train. So, and they have like a fake football field. So I'm like, are you talking about that was fake grass? No, the grass outside of it. So only Mary would notice all the plants and the grasses and everything I was just.
Step back 2 paces right now because we came out after having dinner. And you looked around and said, "Mary, those are quite pretty. What are those plants?" And I was telling you they're flowering kale.
There you go. Oh, you're right. The flowering kale were nice. I know.
Kale.
I thought it was just funny. We're in this area that was...
I am increasing your...
Oh, you are. Yeah. You are. And it was where the Cowboys train. So I was increasing your...
That's true.
Your sports...
That's true. My sports
getting some sporties in there for you. So anyway, it was a fun trip.
It was fun. Yes.
It was. And just
a really nice getaway.
Since we talk about some food and drinks here, we have to say we had a really nice meal, a steak meal.
We did.
And 2 of the drinks, I had one called an airplane.
Mm-hmm.
Was that what it's called?
Airplane? Paper airplane.
Paper airplane. It comes with a paper airplane on it.
It does.
It's a bourbon and lemon juice kind of.
And you wouldn't have thought that. You would have thought it would maybe have been a gin type.
Yeah, that was a strange combo. It was really good, though.
Good.
It was a really nice
lemon
drink.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe you had something with tequila.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was crazy.
I had tequila and jalapeno.
It was a tequila with a huge pepper in it. So
yes, it
from
was
the garden,
beautiful,
fresh
pepper.
from the garden,
fresh
huge,
from the garden,
huge pepper in it. So, but anyway, we did have a good time this past weekend. So it was kind of nice, and we drove up there, so we got to.
It was an excellent break.
It was.
And I do have to tell everyone because we love our birds. And we went to a remote control car manufacturing place in McKinney, which is Traxxas.
Yeah.
I'm new to the remote control, but they had the best grouping of Canadian geese. They were just lovely. They blocked our path for a long time. We had to sit there and wait for them to stroll across the street.
Yeah, it was fun.
But they're gorgeous.
It was a nice little couple day weekend to get away from home.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we got back, though, Mary was right in the garden.
In the garden.
Didn't waste any time.
I love my garden.
Which is a great lead in, Mary. I'm going to lead you right to it. And I'm going to ask you, Mary, what's new in the garden?
Oh, we planted the plum trees that I got at the Natural Gardener.
We did what you did. Yes, you did.
2 weekends ago, we went, about 2 weeks ago.
It was.
We went to the Natural Gardener. It was a fabulous trip. I always love to go down there and see what they have going on.
Mm-hmm.
And they were having a special on their bare root fruit trees. And so I did pick up 2, a Santa Rosa plum and a Methley plum, which we talked about last week. So I won't go into that. But what I did want to talk about was I followed the planting procedure and the products that they recommended for me to follow. I haven't done this before, and I'm pretty excited to see how this will work out. Their kit that they sell you comes with, let me see, it comes with the Fox Farm Soil Conditioner, which is revitalizes your soil and adds biology and things like that to your soil. And it also comes with this little container of Plant Success Organics, mycorrhiza. I mean, the list on the back of this product is so long, it would take me a year to read, if I could even read all of the different biology that's incorporated, but it has a wide selection of biology that you dust into the hole as you dig the hole out. You put this in the bottom according to a ratio, and then you will fill the hole in a little bit more, and then you'll dust it around some more. And it's to get your microbiome really going in the soil. It has a mycorrhiza fungi in it, a little fungi you put in. But then it also has some bacterial species, I believe, are in there too. And then after you add your, you plant your plant in your native soil, and then you put like a 1 to 2 inch layer of the soil conditioner. And then you top it off with your native hardwood mulch, like 3 to 4 inches, it said. And all this time, you're making sure it doesn't come up against the, right after the grafting union. You don't want any soil or anything to touch the trunk there. You keep it away like 2 or 3 inches. And the final step is a product called MaxiCrop. And it's a liquefied seaweed product. It says on here that it has an analysis of 001, and it's supposed to be mineral rich and support a good, healthy root structure of your crop.
All right.
But I got to tell you something. It has quite a sharp odor to it. But what you do is you dilute it like maybe 1 ounce in a gallon of water and water it in really good. And so I'm excited to see how this does.
Yeah, that'll be cool. It does smell like fish because it's seaweed.
It really, yes. It has a smell.
Okay.
I wasn't quite prepared for that but when I poked through the seal.
Yowzer.
Yeah. But
okay.
It's not bad. After you dilute it, you really can't smell it anyway. So that's okay. It doesn't stick around.
Nice.
And I got them all tucked into their new home.
Tucked into their new home.
Tucked into their little new home.
Yeah, you did good. You got the hole dug and you did all that. You did a good job.
It was in our little kitchen garden. It's getting to where it's really not hard to get down. I could get a shovel's, what would that be, like 9 inches maybe? I could go down like 9 inches these days without any trouble.
Okay, I like
which
it.
is great, right?
Very good.
Yeah. So we're going to have to see how our little plum trees take off.
I'm excited. I like plums, so I'm excited for it. And then we also, I think we're making some progress on our onions. And
I forgot. Yes, I was going to talk about that. Today, I was looking out there, and some of the onions that we planted are probably 4 inches in growth. And the top of it is so exciting.
Oh, that's nice. I like it.
And I put in some seeds. I put in beet seeds. I put in lettuce seeds. Oh, I put in Swiss chard. I put in all kinds of seeds. So I think the beets are beginning to sprout right now, which is it's going to be good.
And how about our potatoes? When do we know what's going on with them? Do they pop something up out of the ground? Or
They should be popping some stuff up out of the ground.
All right.
It's a good experiment. We're going to have to see.
Okay. I mean, we put a lot of potatoes out there.
We did. Oh my goodness. We should have a whole container full of potatoes.
That'd be fun to see one comes up. And everything is, I mean, I think we're past all the freezes, hopefully.
Generally.
So, maybe everything will start coming to life out there.
Yes.
Nice.
Depending on your plant, what their low temperature is. Like in your citrus trees, you still want to be a little careful because they get a little damaged before you get all the way down to freezing. So you still got to look out for them. But usually March, coming into the first week of March, you're probably beyond your average last day of frost.
Good.
But you got to keep your eyes open.
Okay.
You never know.
Well, I'm expecting some green and flowers shortly, Mary.
Oh, my goodness. I planted so many varieties of lettuces that wow. Wow. There's going to be a rainbow of lettuce out there.
Okay. Well, I like it. Very good.
Mm-hmm. And maybe we'll be going to the plant nursery and get some flowers this week.
Oh, okay. All right.
Here we go.
Looks like I got a little agenda item for me. Okay. We can do that. What else? Anything else in the garden this week?
Oh, well, just your general. Oh, well, you know what I did today? It is the subject that we're going to be talking about today, but we'll get to that pretty soon. I worked on doing a transplant or a dividing. I don't know. But anyways, of the Bicolor Iris.
Oh, that's what you're going to talk about.
So that's what I thought I was going to talk about today.
Okay. Hey, just a quick update on our bird buddy that we've heavily promoted here on the podcast. No, I'm messing with you. We like it. We do like it. It is actually really cool. And
I know, it's so
we were
cute.
Up away from home in Dallas area, and we could still, which is kind of cool, you could still see what birds. It still gave me the alerts and say, oh, hey, look what birds just stopped by the house. So
the funniest thing is you could see them crack the shells, throw the shells away, and eat the kernels.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
So it's still cool. I like it. We like our birds, and we're starting to get a lot more birds in the yard. But as a cool little product. So I just want a quick update.
You know what's happened since we've had the bird buddy and we've been noticing or listening more closely? I think that I'm beginning to tell a difference in the call of the cardinals that we have in the backyard. You know, maybe the individuals do their own little variations along the way. I don't know.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they have their own, something unique to them.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Anyway, just wanted to update and say it's still working, still cool, still like it.
The one thing we haven't done is look at our trail camera.
We got to get the trail camera. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We need to do that in the next couple of days. I need to pull the little card and take a look and see what's out there.
Now, on the Bird Buddy, you have only just now needed to charge the camera, and it's been up there
It's been about 3 weeks or
3
so.
weeks?
Yeah. But I think I'm still leaning towards trying to get the little solar thing to it, and
that'd be good.
You basically it's just right over the top of it and just keep it rolling. So, but so far so good. Anyway, I wanted to update everyone on that.
It's been super fun.
Yeah.
Love that.
So what do you have for us for our topic of the week, Mary?
Our new topic of the week. Well, last fall, I do think we talked about this, but I decided to restructure one of the small gardens in front by our driveway. It's the garden where I was super excited about putting in the Arroyo Sweetwood. And also I put in a Texas mountain laurel. Well, when I did that, I had to uproot some bicolor iris. Mm-hmm. And what I did was I just stuck it in some cloth flower pots and threw whatever dirt I had available over it. And every once in a while I would go out there and water it. And that's where they have lived against the south side of the house all winter with no protection or anything like that. And I just overwintered them. They were in a microclimate where they did get the sunshine is on the house all day, so they were up against the wall. And I think that probably they were out of the wind and things like that. And so today I was able to go out into our backyard and rehome the irises. They're already starting to grow. Ooh. I know, isn't that amazing?
I like that.
They're pretty hardy little plant. They didn't do what I wanted to have done in the space that they were planted. When we moved into our home, this was a plant that was already in place, and they don't really amend the soil or do anything to the soil when they put the plants in. They pretty much just slap them in there.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to do something different with it, so I did. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this plant. Do you actually remember the plant?
I'm going to have to say, no, I don't.
No. Okay, well, it is an iris. Mm-hmm. And it's a pretty interesting plant. And what it does is it grows up in arching leaf shape that are very narrow and very graceful. And the iris forms like a clump in nature. And so let's start at the beginning.
Let's do it.
This little plant is actually a native of South Africa. And you can also find it on Lord Howe Island, which is in the Tasman Sea.
Okay.
That's between Australia and New Zealand.
That makes sense because Tasmania is over there somewhere, right?
Yes. And that's where we find this plant growing natively. It's a really good plant and, a evergreen plant for like zone 8 and higher, 8 to 11 or whatever. Above that, you probably grow it as an annual. This little iris is very well suited for container gardens or rock gardens. It can be really beneficial, say, in, somewhere like a woodland type setting. You can make it look very natural in there. When they find it growing in its native habitat, it's growing along streams and in marshy places. But what's so interesting about it is that it grows by rhizomes. And because it stores water inside the rhizome, none of my sources made this comment, so I don't know if this is correct or not. But what my theory is, it can help store some moisture, and therefore it's really drought tolerant. And isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
So it's found in marshy conditions, but it is drought tolerant. If it's growing in a marshy situation or a wetland sort of situation, it could get about 4 to 6 feet tall. And in our dry climate, it usually stays around 2 to 3 feet tall. So that does make a difference right there. It really likes to grow in, I would say, morning sun and then dappled afternoon shade. And where it was growing before, it did not have those conditions. It was just blasted with heat all day. And so now where I have moved some of the rhizomes, it's going to be more like that. It'll get more morning sun, full morning sun till late in the afternoon, I think. And then, so this plant blooms from spring to summer. It's very graceful. It's very pretty. It comes up, but what is so interesting about it is that the blooms, there's like 3 of them that form on the flower stalk, and they bloom together. The blooms only last about 1 day.
Oh, wow.
They do attract pollinators, but it's interesting because each of those flowers need to be pollinated separately. And then they will form like a bulb on the end of the stalk, and inside it will reseed itself prolifically.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think that's amazing.
Yeah, that is.
The 3 flowers open together. They're pale yellow or white. And then the inside of them is like a very, very deep purple, almost to black. And then there's a little orange line that goes around the markings on the inside. They only last like 1 day. And so, if you're growing it in our area where we get frosts and you need to cut it back to the ground, it'll come right back out. It's very hardy. But ordinarily, what you would just do is go in there and trim out the dead leaves as they're formed. And then you want to divide it, say, every 5 years or so that you'll revitalize your clump, or just take some off of the edges, probably. And then you don't necessarily, one of my sources said you can pinch or clip your blooms that have gone over, but don't clip back. Like if it looks like the stalk is green and still lush, it might bloom for you again. But if it looks brown and dried out, you could probably trim it all the way to the base.
Okay.
And you can encourage it to bloom more. It does have other common names, an African iris, a butterfly iris, or it's called a fortnight lily.
Okay.
Because it'll bloom and it'll have a rest of about 2 weeks, and then it'll bloom and it'll go through that cycle. And it's also called the peacock flower because it's very pretty, I guess.
Very nice.
Very nice.
That sounds cool. And
it does need, like we talked about the light already, it does like a nice, fertile, rich soil. So you probably want to amend it with that. And even though it is drought tolerant, if it goes a long time without water, you're not going to have any success with this plant. So nice, regular waterings, just like we always talk about, will improve your success with the bicolor iris.
That sounds cool.
It is.
And this was on the side of our house the whole time.
And one of the reasons that professionals do like to use it in South Africa is to hold back soil maybe that's been dug up, or if they've done road work, or if it's a new building. And so the clumps will hold the soil in place and stop erosion.
Oh, nice. Well,
so that is our little bicolor
that's pretty
iris.
Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds like a cool plant.
I think it is too.
Yeah, I'm excited. I like the little bloomies.
I know,
I like something that blooms more than once.
Interesting,
I like this.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's really, really interesting. Well, thank you. Anything else on it?
Well, I think that is looking right now, but I think that is pretty much
Okay.
what I have for
Well,
today.
you know what? I'm going to keep an eye on it.
I planted it in a place where I don't want to have to weed all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it will crowd out the Bermuda.
I know you were. That's right. You were telling me that you were going to do
Yes,
that.
yes.
Anything that helps out, but especially if it's a cool flower.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I think so.
Very nice.
And thank you, Jeffrey.
Well, thank you, Mary. Well,
I was sort of wondering
yes.
myself
What were you wondering?
if you possibly had a Jeff's Corner.
You know, I have a little little few things, little mashup here.
Oh.
And I'm going to ask you a couple questions.
Oh, boy.
that
Okay. Stump
I'm gonna be
the
honest.
birdie.
If you know the answer to these,
Okay.
I don't even know what to say. But
Are we playing Stump the Birdie?
Stump the bird. Yeah, that was a good one. So, Mary, do you know what the largest plant in the world is?
Oh, man.
Do you think you knew it? When you said, oh, man, it's like you actually knew it? No. Are you joking?
Well,
I don't think you know this one.
I may not know. I do think it is a moss. Is it a moss?
It's not quite that. So
okay.
The largest plant is the Posidonia australis. It's a seagrass found off the coast of Australia. It covers an area of 200 square kilometers or 77 square miles in Shark Bay, Western Australia.
Whoa.
It's an underwater meadow,
which
is actually just a single organism, and it was cloned from one original seed over 4,500 years ago.
I've never heard of that.
What do you think about that?
This is exciting. It's an underwater meadow.
It has created, but it's pretty cool because it was just one seed, but I mean it was 4,500 years ago. But it covers 77 miles in Western Australia.
Wow,
isn't that cool?
Yes, that is
cool.
very cool.
So let me ask you this then:
Okay,
do you know what the largest individual flower is?
Oh, when we were going to go to the Royal Horticultural Society, there was this bloom that was supposed to be very stinky. Is that the one?
No, that's not this one. That's a big one, though. The largest individual flower is called the Rafflesia arnoldi, and it holds the record for the largest single bloom, which was 3.3 feet and weighed 15 pounds.
What? And what type of a bloom is it? It's
a parasitic plant. It grows on the vines in Southeast Asia rainforests.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what? This might be the one. It emits a strong odor of rotting flesh to attract pollinators.
Ooh.
And its pollinators are called carrion flies.
Mm-hmm.
That is the largest individual flower.
Wow.
And that's, Can you imagine?
No.
I think it's
15 pounds.
That's
my
crazy.
Goodness.
That is crazy. And then the largest flowering plant by size is the Titan arum, which is known as, we talked about this, the corpse flower. That's
That's the one I'm thinking of.
It produces the largest unbranched cluster of flowers, growing up to 10 feet tall, and has, kind of unlike the other one, it has many small flowers clustered within its structure. And I just saw an article. People are like flocking to go see this and take pictures and selfies with it. And it's got that putrid smell
Amazing.
to it, which is pretty interesting.
When we went to Scotland, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we went to the Royal Horticultural.
Yes.
Actually, we wanted to go and see this flower that was blooming, but they had the whole area closed off for renovations, and we weren't able to see it.
We did see those other things with those huge. Remember those huge?
Yes.
We didn't know what they were. They're huge leaves. They just had massive, like
We felt like we were tiny
Yeah.
little insects in a big dinosaur forest.
Yes. So that was one of my Jeff's Corners things. I wanted to kind of quiz you a little bit. And
Jeff, this is amazing.
it is just fascinating. It is pretty cool. It is pretty cool to do that. And do you remember when we were over there too? They marked when we were in Scotland. They marked like the largest. If it was the largest tree in the country, they'd marked it and stuff, which was pretty cool.
Yes.
So people obviously were going around and doing it. And I had just seen not too long ago, I think they got hit by a really bad storm.
I know.
And the garden that we were in there took a pretty good hit. I don't know that it got any of the bigger things, but it did take a hit. I saw some of the pictures, and they're definitely going to have some work to do to get it back going the way it was.
Yes.
So just interesting side note. The only other thing I wanted to do, I wanted to ask you about maybe one cocktail.
Oh.
So there's a cocktail that is called a Rosemary Citrus Gin Fizz.
Oh.
And since we have some of these ingredients, it might be cool to try.
Absolutely.
So it's made with 2 ounces of gin, an ounce of fresh lemon or grapefruit juice, half ounce of honey, a sprig, has to be a sprig, Mary, of fresh rosemary, and then some club soda and ice. And then
it sounds delicious.
The difference, this one's a little different than some because you have to make this rosemary honey syrup for it. And so in a little saucepan, you put like a 1/4 cup of honey, a 1/4 cup of water, this little sprig of rosemary, and you simmer it. And then you let it steep for a bit, and then you strain out the rosemary. And then you kind of mix that in with the gin and
amazing.
Some citrus juice. It sounds pretty good.
It does.
I mean, it's not one where you can just make in 3 seconds since you have to kind of do the saucepan part, but it sounds pretty interesting. And it sounds fresh, like a fresh, springy. It's refreshing. And it brings a little bit of your garden into your winter drinks if you want to do it in the winter.
That's right.
Yeah. So that might be all I have this week. I was really pretty excited about the largest things.
I am too.
Those
I've
are
got
pretty
to go
doggone
look
large.
that up.
The one in Australia, that's pretty crazy.
And yes, I want to see if there are photos out there.
Yeah,
see what it looks like.
It's interesting on like how they know that it was created from one seed. You know, I mean,
yeah,
you know what I mean. And have been there. I mean, that's a long time to have been there, but I thought that was an interesting fact.
Well, like in one of our previous podcasts, we talked about asparagus that went back to like 5,000 BC or whatever, and so this plant that you're talking about right here, didn't you say 4,500
years ago? Yeah.
Years ago. I mean, that's pretty amazing that they could track. It amazes me that they can track this stuff.
I know. And it's pretty crazy that it's created its own like meadow under the sea for 77 miles. Square miles. So
wow.
Anyway, that's all I had for Jeff's Corner this time.
Jeff, right? It is wonderful.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, let me ask you a quick question. I'm just messing with you.
Please, go for
it. Mary's looking at me like, oh God, what's he asking me now?
I'm not.
I'm just playing. What are we looking at, like some possibilities for next week?
We're getting into the busy season.
Oh, gosh, I know. Well, you already said we're going to go to a nursery and do some things.
Absolutely. Well, we had talked before about using our ability to organize the garden so that we enjoy what we're doing out there more. And I think we've been following through with it. And so in the flavor of thinking ahead, March, here in Central Texas, we're entering our warm to hot season. I think it's might be in the high 80s today. right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
it's definitely
tomorrow
warm.
it's going to drop into the
The
60s.
but we're mostly cruising in the mid 70s and 80s from
Yes.
here on in.
So our plants are going to start growing.
Yeah.
They are starting to grow. So this is the wonderful time to get whatever you decide of feeding your soil and your plants. And that is a fertilizer, I suppose. But I like to use something that's organic that causes the soil life to be, fed.
Mm-hmm.
And then they feed the plants. So that's probably what I'm going to look at. But this is the time for you to go out with your choice of feeding your plants and put it on the soil. Sometimes I get very lazy and I just kind of broadcast it right over the top of the mulch. You really don't want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You really want to pull the mulch back because then your microbes get to work on it better, right? but sometimes Mary Bird can be a little bit lazy.
Oh, never.
What you want to start looking at probably, I am ready to look at a way to make watering the garden easier. That's always top of my list. So that's what you want to do. Check out your irrigation, make sure everything is in working order. We have not used our irrigation system. We haven't used it, right?
Not in the last. No, I turned it off about 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And we've done really well. Mm-hmm. We've had some good rains and things like that.
We have, yeah.
Yeah. But
it's time to
this
check
is
it.
a good time to get out there and check and, make sure that you get your inch of water time, your irrigation, to make sure that your lawn will get its inch of water a week per watering. It's time to plant plants. It's very exciting. You plant your perennials, plant your annuals. You could plant your grass now if you are looking to revamp your lawn, your turf grass and stuff like that. And just check your plants because with plant life growing, your insect life is going to grow too. So you want to just keep an eye out for aphids and other plants that you could really just spray off with a big old dose of water. Mm-hmm. Get them off there because that's what I'm going to be doing because I'm excited about the seeds coming up. And, get out there and enjoy your garden. It's really, I'm going to be planting some veggies, of course. I like my veggies. And right now we're still a little bit early. But according to the Travis County Vegetable Planting Guide by the AgriLife Extension Agency, you can start with your beans, your bush beans and pole beans and lima beans. You can kind of start your beans now, and that's from direct seeding into the garden. And also, I never grow corn, but you could grow corn. Your cucumbers are entering the stage where they're good to direct seed or plant out. We're a little bit early. You might want to wait a week or two. You could, plant some seeds out there, and then if they don't take off, plant some more. But we're heading into our greens. You want to put in your warm greens, collard maybe, turnip greens, things like that. Well, maybe not turnip greens. I would try some collards, though.
Okay.
And this year, what I would like to try to grow are some of the Italian melons that are better for the heat and have a cucumber flavor. So you could have your nice, cool, refreshing cucumber.
That's cool.
And because cucumbers are kind of getting to the end of, they should be producing really quickly and you should harvest them before it gets to be too hot. And then, we're going to go into your southern peas. You could plant your cow peas and black-eyed peas and things like that. And so this year I'm looking at different varieties of squash. I like that one squash variety that I grow that looks like a sort of a really huge, long trombone thing.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That was pretty awesome.
They did grow good,
but
though.
I do need to look ahead. This is one of the things I need to do this week. And I know that there are squash vine borer traps that you can buy that you hang along the canopy. You don't want them right by your squash, but near the canopy of your squash, and it'll trap the adult moth.
Okay.
But then you got to go on a search and destroy mission to make sure you don't let that egg burrow into the squash vine.
Okay. All right.
I know, right? Always something.
It is always something.
But yeah, so now is the time to start looking around, see what you can plant. And even if you have a little package of seeds and you put it out a little too early and it doesn't quite work out for you, just do it again in a week or two and keep it growing.
Very good. Well, that sounds like a fun.
That sounds like a good plan.
Sounds you have some plans going for us. And,
I do.
Can't wait
and
to see.
I'm looking forward to putting some color in the yard too.
Now you're talking. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
This is the first year that we have overwintered bougainvillea, and I do see that each of our bougainvillea is starting to bud out. So I'm looking forward to using that for color in the garden.
Okay.
I'm quite excited about that, actually. We have not done that before.
All right.
So, yay.
All right. Hey, and I'm always ready for my roses to start blooming.
I do see fresh leaves coming out.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
They need some food, though.
Okay.
Got to get that food out there.
All right. We'll get some food
Get
for
the
them.
rose food.
Okay.
I do think we have is what we need in the garage. So
Beautiful.
We're sitting pretty.
Man, that's best news. You're hitting me with some good news right here. I like it. All right. Well, as always, everyone, we appreciate you
We
tuning
appreciate
in
you very much
and joining us here on the podcast every week. And we hope that if you're enjoying it, you go to your favorite podcasting place and give us a review and a rating. We'd appreciate that. And as always, just thanks for joining us here.
And happy gardening, everyone.
Yes, happy gardening. And until next week, we'll see you right here, same time, same place.
Same place.
We'll see you next time here. Thanks, everyone. Bye.